Greetings, and we're back to Thursday. That's right, we made it to Turbulent Thursday. And that's what usually happens, I've found out in my many years of business performance coaching. And I had a lot of turbulence today. However, a lot of it was pretty good. It was good turbulence. A lot of things happening that I'm very pleased and very grateful for. But, of course, that also means that disruptions and interruptions come and things you weren't planning on come. So I've gotten into the habit of saying, yeah, Wednesday is hump day, but then there's a bit of turbulence on Thursday. But hopefully then you will take care of that, and that Friday can be a little smoother. You're planning for the weekend ahead of you, so you have some rest and relaxation and reflection and worship and good things. At the same time is you're using Friday as a leadership preparation day. It's future day. As I point out, one of my mentors said that he told his staff that on Friday he wants to talk about not the problems of the week, not even the pestilences of the day. If possible, we want to talk about the future. Friday is a good day to think and plan for our future. So we're going to do a little bit of that and a little bit of reminiscing today, because I have a question for you. Do manners still matter? Do manners still matter? And then about being ladies and gentlemen. And then a gentleman, George Washington, and some advice he had about perhaps what a leader and a gentleman could be and should be. It'll be about 15 or 20 minutes, no more than that, but I hope it'll be helpful to you. The program is Interesting Ideas, and it begins right now. One of the things that I think any thoughtful person realizes that the social media have certainly not made us more social. It certainly has been a way of doing all kinds of nasty things to people. And sometimes people can act in ways that they wouldn't normally act. But, you know, when you're online and no one can hurt you or touch you, you can do all kinds of unsocial things on the social media. And at the same time, the lack of sometimes quality of relationships, politeness, a lack of manners in how we treat one another, that certainly has been an issue, I believe. So let me just ask you about that. I'd love to hear from you. Do manners still matter? Do we need kind of maybe a modern day 2024 kind of an Emily Post? Remember etiquette? Did any of you ever read Emily Post? Have any of you ever read any of the manners literature? And there was a great deal of that. Literally toward the end of the 19th century, early part of the 20th century, the idea of how a gentleman should conduct himself, how a lady should conduct herself. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, that was it, how they should conduct themselves. And there was a great deal of literature and concern about that. And that was the mark of character. And as I point out, sometimes the term character can have a double meaning, and sometimes that's fun and that's good. You can say, he's quite a character, and that can be somewhat of a compliment. And you can say, he's a real character, and that can be maybe a little bit less so. But then, a man or a woman of character is a high compliment. Perhaps, as someone said, you need to be a little bit of both from time to time. Certainly a man or a woman of real high character. But you know, it might be helpful is from time to time you keep people a little off balance and keep yourself a little more interesting by being a bit of a character. And maybe part of good manners is learning the balance between what they are. All right, there we go. Now, what I would love to hear from you people is what are some of the manners that we need to put in place? Maybe to at least replace or put in place or bring back. Do you have any suggestion for manners? Well, I'm going to just put 2 or 3, maybe more, in place. Okay. First of all, say thank you a lot. Whenever you can. 100 thank yous a day. Learn to say thank you. Learn to use these 3 very powerful words. I am grateful. Now, that sounds simple, but I had a relationship, a business relationship, and I worked very hard on it. I produced great service, and he was pleased with the service, and he went off. But you know what? When I would deliver something, and usually it was a high-quality podcast product, he was busy, but he would get it. He would get notice that I had posted it, that I had produced it, that I had got all of this work, and I sent him the email and the link, and you know what? He never replied, "Thank you, Stan. Thank you for doing that." Just never did it. And he has a very responsible position. Not once did he say, "Thank you." So let's just be a little bit more aware of that. I also will suggest that perhaps that we be a little more mannerly in how we dress for occasions. I'm old-fashioned. Yes, very old-fashioned. So I admit that. But to me, the idea of dressing for leadership, dressing to look nice, dressing to reflect a pleasant character, and someone who is seeking to bring maybe not a touch of glamour to the world, or even a touch of beauty to the world, but a touch of what I would call a little bit of personal class. And that doesn't mean you have to be handsome or beautiful or all of those things, but you can always look nice. You can always make an effort to be at your best. And that oftentimes was a principle. Like someone said to me, remember? And of course I did remember. Remember when we got dressed up to get on an airplane? Well, yes, I do remember that. And in fact, I still do it. And there's a very good reason why I do that. It's really a very smart thing to do. So perhaps that might be something that would reflect good manners. Also, one of my, I never met him, but he was a great guy. Harvey McKay, How to Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive, was a motivational speaker. Now, what made him so unique is that his product, the McKay Company, which made him a millionaire, guess what they sold? Envelopes. That's right, envelopes. And he said, my envelopes are top quality. But you know what? There are hundreds of companies that make envelopes. And there are many companies that make every bit as good of envelopes that I do. But you know what the difference is? It's how we dress. It's how we act. It's how we treat people. That's why we get more business. It's not our product, our paper envelopes, but it's how we behave, how we believe, how we reflect. And he had a wonderful line which he said, short notes make for long results. And it was the very, very simple habit of writing little thank you and appreciation notes. No, not a text, not an email. You pick up a pen, you pick up a piece of paper or a nice card, and you write in your handwriting a nice note and letter. And you seal it, and you put a stamp on it, and you mail it. Part of the problem today is that when we go to the mailbox, we hardly get any letters anymore. Oh, we get bills and we get all kinds of other things and occasionally, but we really, very seldom get a letter anymore. And maybe that's something we need to perhaps bring back. Well, those are just some thoughts. I would love to hear from you. What are some of the resurrection of manners that perhaps we need to, put in place? And I know one business leader who has made it a point now that that is going to be part of the training of his new employees. Not just how to treat customers, but how to treat people. How to reflect not only good service and a good experience, but personal manners. And how to behave, how to appear, and how, most importantly, to treat others. I'm Stan Houston. Just some old-fashioned interesting ideas, but here's something else. This is President's Day. Well, no, that was Monday, but it was because it was between February 12th and today, February 22nd. Lincoln's birthday was the 12th, Washington's birthday was the 22nd, and so this is his day, and we're going to talk a little bit about President Washington and manners. I'm Stan Houston. The program is Interesting Ideas. Please reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. We can do a little talk on customer service and good manners sometime. Maybe that would be helpful for you and your company. Here we go. We'll be back. Well, today I want to thank Stephen Klugowicz. I do not know Stephen, never met Stephen, but he has written a wonderful article called George Washington and the Gift of Silence. George Washington, the great actor, was playing his part in a great drama, not just for Americans of his day, but for you and me. Washington, the stoic, used his gift of silence shrewdly and surely. It is his actions, more than his words, that echo down to us today. And there's a picture of him. Nice picture. In December 2009, a letter written by George Washington in November 1787 to his nephew Bushrod Washington was auctioned for $3.2 million, the highest price ever paid for a letter written by our first president. In the letter, Washington urges Bushrod to support the newly written Constitution, then under consideration for ratification by the states. To most historians, this is probably the most important part of the letter. But the personal advice that Washington gives his nephew, who had just been elected to the Virginia House of Delegates, at the letter's conclusion, provides a window on a key aspect of George Washington's character. Washington tells Bushrod, "Rise, but seldom. Let this be an important matter, and then make yourself thoroughly acquainted with the subject. Never be agitated by more than a decent warmth, and offer your sentiments with modest diffidence. Opinions thus given are listened to with more attention than when they are delivered in a dictatorial style. The latter, if attended to at all, although they may force conviction, is sure to convey disgust. Rise, but seldom. To speak, that is, words. Washington seemed to live by, after all. He never spoke in debate at the Constitutional Convention over which he presided. He was not and did not pretend to be a great orator. He was not and did not pretend to be a great writer. He did not have a way with words, and he knew it. In fact, there are few, if any, quotations of Washington that I remembered today. You know, the article goes on and says simply, he was a man who learned to be possessed, as John Adams said, with that rare gift of silence. And I'm beginning to think more about that. I was in a meeting, and I try very much not to dominate meetings, which, of course, since I like to talk and have lots of opinions, but I have found that, I should probably do a lot more listening than speaking. But there are a lot of people who don't believe that and certainly don't follow that. And so the meeting was very much dominated by two or three others. Not that they didn't have something important to say or something good to say. I think they did in some cases. But sometimes, as one person said, you find out that some people aren't involved in a conversation. They are involved in preaching and pitching and another word that ends with the same ing. That's what they do. They preach, they pitch, and they do. And maybe that's something we should try to avoid. And of course, why do we need to use the more colorful language, which used to be called bad manners? Well, you know what? Probably we can do without that too. I'm Stan Houston. Thank you for listening to me go on and on and on. But it was just simply something I did want to honor a man who understood the gift of silence, and obviously an incredible character in every sense of the word. And perhaps maybe we can just, as I seek to try and do, be a little more conscientious about that we are increasingly a world without manners, and that maybe manners still matter. Thank you for listening. We'll be back. And we're back, just like the TED Talk, under 20 minutes, to simply say thank you for your time. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful that you do, and I'm grateful when you respond. I'm grateful when you recommend this podcast and others to others, and I appreciate, I'm grateful for your recommendations. Have any questions? StanHouston at gmail.com, StanHouston at gmail.com. Best and blessings to you. Do good work, be good, and do good to others. Bye for now.